Fascinating. 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 Fascinating.
Up your shaft. Up your shaft.
I wanted that to be like Scotty's arguing with Godzilla.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody out there. Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Original Series rewatch and recap podcast, where myself, Adam Ordall Quinnell, and my co-host with the mo-host,
Hey, everybody, it's Al Hirt here. What's up?
Mr. Al Hirt, we get together. I'll tell you what's up. We get together every week in an undisclosed location just off Auto Row in the sunny San Fernando Valley, and we discuss some kind of Star Trek something.
Yes, some media.
We started with, I will not say content. We started with the original series, and we finished that a few weeks ago. If you're just getting here now, great. I have no idea how you heard of us. No,
Yeah.
like fucking bully for you. But if you've been listening, cool. But for the new listener, every week we talked about an episode of the original series, and then we did 3 seasons of that with bonus episodes where we talked about the movies, etc.
Yeah,
And,
now we're going through the animated series.
So, Al, before I ask you the question that I always ask you, what have you been thinking so far about these animated series? We've covered 4 so far.
These stories have been pretty solid. They've been way better than
Pretty
the
good.
third season.
Better than season
Yeah.
3.
Because, season 3 felt more like a slog to get through because they had more airtime, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, it felt
They're
like
like 48 minutes, and they're like, well, what do we do for 10 minutes?
It was 52 minutes.
Oh, God, 52,
And it felt like a slog because it sucked shit most of the time. That's why it felt like a slog. It wasn't the time. It wasn't the run time.
Right?
It sucked.
No, I think the lowest point was when Spock and Kirk were dancing and around each other and stuff, and they were getting
the
tortured.
cringe.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
I
Or when
cringed
they
so
had to force
hard.
kiss someone.
When
That was crazy.
That was the first biracial kiss on screen too.
Oh my gosh.
Kirk kissing Uhura, and it was hotly debated, and also it was fucking forced and weird. So they're basically implying, the only way this would ever happen
Oh my
if
God.
fucking aliens were controlling. But so yeah, good stories. What do you think about the animation?
I don't know. It's I guess the only advantage that I always say is that they can just always go crazier with the stories and have crazier characters, and I like the world building that they have, I guess.
Instead of an ensign wearing a blue shirt,
or
you have a
instead of
cat
people-
lady.
Right, instead of people smacking antennas in different spots of their head, it's
You have
like,
a dude with a long neck.
Yeah.
It looks like an ET from
Exactly.
ET, but 10 years earlier.
He's got a funny voice. But,
Hello, Captain,
who's
yes.
that again? It's Scotty, right?
No, yeah, it is. It's James Doohan plays.
Doohan.
I forgot he plays this guy. Hey, Captain.
It's insane.
I have a long neck and I'm the
But
navigator.
You can tell there's a lot of love in it too, and just none of the people look like the cast. I will say that. It's pretty cleaned up.
Cartoon versions
Right.
of them, It's
It's another universe, I guess we can say.
It is. I being a kid who grew up watching syndicated animation at his grandmother aged babysitter's house. Where I would be left for hours unattended.
Right.
I really relate to the the Funimation or the is it Funimation?
I don't know. It just feels like frames or like just stilted animation one on top of each other.
Filmation. Yeah, Filmation. They're they did Masters, the original He-Man cartoon, and a bunch of other shit.
I was always thinking though, it's like Johnny Quest and like the Boomerang channel that I grew up with, and Cartoon Network showing those older Hanna-Barbera stuff too.
Definitely has big Hanna-Barbera, that late 60s era vibes,
Yeah.
like the very cheap animation. You can't see the eraser burns around their mouths.
But at that point you got to lean on the story though, and that's where it kind of shines, I think.
Exactly. It's just good
And the voice acting.
diluted character-driven stories. Plot-driven stories, but lots of good character stuff.
Yeah.
They still are their characters from the show. I think that's good and consistent. Scotty
And the
immediately
voice
gets
actors.
horny when let off the chain. And the voice acting, yes, absolutely. The fact that we get the original cast, they do a pretty good job. So I've been enjoying it. I think one of the reasons I like it is because I really loved that early Adult Swim show, C-Lab 2021,
Yeah.
where it was like they took the footage from C-Lab 2020 and just redid new voices. But eventually they started doing a lot of original animation for it, and it kind of lost that rustic vibe.
Yeah.
But there's one episode of C-Lab in particular, and I think I've talked about it on the pod before, but it's where they just did a straight episode of C-Lab without editing it to make it funny.
Yeah.
But they used the funny guy voice actors in serious roles. So it's like Eric Estrada is like, sacrifice 10 men to save 100. It's fucking great. But yeah, so I've been enjoying it. We're definitely going to do more of these because I'm kind of dragging ass on the Next Generation launch. And it's been a lot of fun to get these 45-minute episodes out where we get to talk about a really distilled Star Trek story.
Yeah.
Because that's what these have been, is good Star Trek stories, like you've said, but they're really distilled down to the fundamentals. Like, if it was in Yesteryear, the episode we'll talk about today, for example, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but if that was an episode of the series, you would also see what Kirk and the gang are doing on their end to try and help or figure shit out, I think, and so last week, and how the show format works is we talk about last week's episode, then we talk about this week's episode, we give a little review of something that we want you to watch or listen to that's not Star Trek related usually, and that's it. So last week was More Trouble with More Tribbles.
Yes.
What do you remember about that?
The best part being like, as soon as they transport this guy in, Kirk's like, I know that face. Cyrano Jones.
Cyrano motherfucking Jones.
And then Scotty's like, but he's got tribbles. And then I guess the twist is like, hey, they don't have sex. They don't,
These
reproduce.
tribbles don't self-fuck themselves.
They just eat a lot. And then he failed to mention that they get big. And then the twist is that when they explode, there's more tribbles within the tribble.
Do in fact multiply.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think in the live action show, there probably would have been a scene where, Bones is like, God damn it, Jim, they're reproducing inside themselves.
Yeah, and then it'd be like Kirk standing in a bunch of tribble skeletons.
Yeah, right.
I'll never get over that. Most of these,
weird.
Jim.
But then they end up weaponizing the tribbles too, which is interesting.
To attack the Klingons, they send a big fat fucking ripe to explode tribble over to the Klingords.
Yep. And it's kind of like the situation that they put the other people in. What was it? Where they went through that electric cloud? The Romulans. Yes, the Romulans. But I think with this Tribble episode, it was just kind of like a repeat of what happened before, but they had with the same wheat quintotriticale.
Quintotriticale.
Yes, there it is.
Quattrotriticale.
Quadrotriticale. And then, the Tribbles ended up eating all that weed, and it was just an all-around disaster, I guess.
It sounded like you said the Tribbles eat all that weed, and I think that's what they should do with Tribbles next is like get them mad faded, like just get them super. They're like, I can't even reproduce myself. I'm so mad faded.
But we get the new alien too, where it was
the Glommer.
Yeah, the Glommer. One of the weird antenna legs.
One of the greatest inventions. Looks like a little table with eyes on top and little teeth that stick up that don't make any sense because it eats through its ass because it like sits on top of the thing.
Yeah,
I love the Glommer. I've been trying to make a meme thing on Blue Sky where he's holding the Glommer and it says. And it says it's like me when I've got my Glommer, and then it's like my Glommer. I love the Glommer. But yeah, so that was last week. More trouble, more tribbles. And this week, it's Yesteryear. And
Yes.
and this episode aired on September 15th, 1973. And it is the synopsis from Paramount Plus is Spock travels back in time to prevent his death as a young Vulcan.
Okay, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, they get it there, yeah. No, it's like if I was Norm Macdonald talking about it, I'd be like, it prevents his own death on Vulcan there. And awesome title card. They reuse the same title card all the time, but with different text, which is fine. I love the horizontal shots of the Enterprise flying by a planet that they do in this animation. And they're studying the timelines. Remember the time arch in that episode where that lady got killed in the street?
Yeah,
That's this time arch, right?
It's the same one. I don't.
Yeah,
maybe
no,
it's
it
another
is.
one that they're studying.
It's the same one.
Really?
They've gone back to study it, and they're actually using it to study Federation history.
Right.
And so it starts with Kirk and Scott. Is it Scotty?
Yeah.
Or just another red shirt?
Or maybe it's just another,
It's another
red
red shirt.
Yeah.
So Kirk and another red shirt jump out of the portal, and they're like, "We studied so much Federation history, but of course we didn't change anything." And then Spock comes out, and guess what, motherfucker? They don't recognize Spock.
Yeah, Bones goes, "Who's he, Jim?" And Kirk's like,
It's my
"Wait,
mind
what the hell?"
blowing, dude. That is like, it's like,
Fascinating.
Yeah. Kirk's like, "What the hell? That's Spock."
that's my first officer.
Come on. And then they beam aboard, and Scotty's like, "Who the hell is this other alien that you brought with you?"
A Vulcan,
A
sir.
Vulcan.
But a Vulcan. We hate Vulcans during this timeline, don't we, sir? And I love this. Well, first off, I have to mention that one of the aliens studying the portal is just inexplicably a giant Birdman. Like, they don't cover it.
awesome.
He doesn't have a Starfleet logo on his shirt. He's like holding a clipboard and just being he looks like a fucking He-Man character, which makes sense because it's Filmation, right?
He's like barely got a shirt on because his
He's
wings has to
naked.
fucking
He's
sprout
totally
out.
nude. He's just a big bird. And he looks like a Dungeons and Dragons bird character you would fight. And he's so tall. He's like 8.5 feet tall, standing next to Uhura or whatever. And so they beam up, and I love this because they go, Captain Kirk goes, because nobody recognizes Spock or remembers him, right?
Yeah.
And Kirk goes, "I'm not going to have anybody disrespecting my first officer." And then a motherfucking Andorian comes in and says,
yes.
"I've never been disrespected." And so, dun, 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 bow. Oh,
Yeah, obviously there's another first officer.
right. And let me see here.
Who's the Andorian?
That's what I was going to find out. So the Andorian comes in. "No one has ever treated me otherwise, sir."
Oh, Thalen, that's his name.
Thalen is the first. So in this timeline, his first officer is a goddamn Andorian. Oh my God. I'm so racist against Andorians because I watched Enterprise.
Oh yeah, they were up to
Jeffrey
they
Combs,
always mess with
the
stuff.
great character actor Jeffrey Combs, plays the Andorian that Archer has a conflicted relationship with in Enterprise, and he fucking rips, dude. So there's no record of Spock. They're Googling Spock fervently.
Yes, and they're checking the Starfleet Academy records and
I think,
stuff.
dude, watch this. So at about 3.5 minutes in, they're all in the briefing room talking. Nobody knows Spock. They're gonna look. They're researching. They reach back into
Orion's
this
past.
motherfucker, right? So look at that guy. So the Enterprise, they're talking to the Federation archives who are looking for information about a Spock, right?
Yeah.
And this motherfucking Federation archives guy looks so sad. Like 347. If I wish we had a Patreon so I could post pictures or videos or whatever, but it is the funniest goddamn thing. This guy's like, "There's no record of a Vulcan named Spock," and they're like, "There was, but he died. He was son of Sarek the Vulcan."
Yeah, because he was an ambassador to the Federation, so they have record of his death.
Yeah, and so and then
they
also
have his wife, and so then as soon as that happens, Spock's like, wait, what about his wife and son?
they got separated.
And
You know,
she was killed in a shuttle accident on her way to Earth.
well, so here's the fucking thing, right? We didn't really talk. I guess this is our first episode on Bake. So here's the thing this is a fucking kids show, right?
Yeah,
and
seriously.
so many things happen in this because here's the thing: when a child I'm sorry, content warning if people out there have been through something as fucking sad as this,
Yeah,
but
seriously.
but like so here's the thing. And also content warning, there's a dead pet in this fucking episode. It's a fucking nightmare for me.
Yeah.
And so I think it's hilarious that this is for kids. And it's really like a thing when a family loses a child for the parents to separate. So like this is all like a real ass drama. It's like a real ass drama.
Well, and just to hear your whole family fall out like that because of your death, because you're not there. Yeah, that's got to be really freaky to hear, especially after they can't Google your name from the academy that you came from.
Right.
And he's just like, my mom, she's dead.
The son. What was his name and age when he died? Spock, age 7.
And he's like, what?
Why does the Andorian look all shifty?
Yeah.
And also, the Andorian does a thing where he like looks like from side to side. Like he's like, oh, they're going to erase me from the timeline, aren't they?
You're right. The bird guy doesn't have any
Fucking
clothes at all.
Oh, bonkers, right? Like,
They're just like, fuck it,
holy
whatever.
shit, dude. I love it. Maybe
he's from the planet.
I want that. Well, all that's on this planet is this portal.
True.
Remember,
There's
were
nothing
like,
else.
and he's one of the bird guys, like one of the best designs they've ever had. He's got
seriously.
fucking blue eyes, like they're just like no pupil or anything.
And the
just
detail
blue,
and the wrinkles on his
dude.
face and stuff too.
And there's some bird characters in Lower Decks, and I wonder if they're of the same race as this bird guy.
Probably.
Oh, something I was gonna look at.
Oh my gosh, I like this vast shot though that they have.
Yeah, what's the guy's name?
Theo. I don't know if he's.
They don't have him credited.
Though.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was probably James Doohan.
James Doohan is everyone.
Majel Barrett plays this is not the same episode. This is not the correct episode. This is not Yesteryear. Hold on. Here.
Anywho, but as they're talking about the portal again, they're thinking, okay, well, this is all kind of leaning on this one weird logical, it's not a logical fallacy or anything, but it was all leaning on the fact that Spock forgot about his 7th year alive and how like he got out of this specific situation. And he's like, well, I mean, I guess someone helped me out in that moment, but I didn't really think about who it was.
So,
like, I don't remember what happened. I don't know. And they're like, well, just use the portal and go back in and fix your shit.
Well, so there is a vague memory from a child's point of view, but the details are not clear.
Yeah. And that's the line. And he goes, look. And Kirk goes, look, you need your mom to live. Like, you need to live. You guys are all alive.
Right?
Why aren't you here? And I guess it's interesting how Kirk is the only one that kind of is speaking up for Spock.
Well, no, the Andorian then says, we are a warrior race, but one thing that we respect is family. So Spock, I respect you having to go back and save your family and also possibly erase my Federation service record from existence because I'm not here.
The way he like equates it in his head, he goes, look, you'll just go to a different time plane and I'll go to a different time plane where I might still be first officer. Right. I'm not sure, but best of luck. And they do to live long and prosper.
As I thought,
cool.
Commander Thielen was played by James Doohan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, perfect.
Yeah. And so Spock takes this bag and he's going back in time. And he's because here's the thing. So in his 7th year, the month of Tasmin, and the location near the city of Shirakir, very specific coordinates, because he had a ritual that he was going to go through as a child. And
at age 7.
And he remembered that he was saved by a cousin. And he doesn't really remember the cousin or anything. Like, he's like, I was saved by a cousin, and it was very strange. And so he goes back in time to when that may have happened.
But I don't even, he still says details are not clear, though.
Well, because it's all in flux right now, because he could potentially change it, right?
Right. So he's just like, I mean, I was a kid, I don't know.
And
they're
he's
like, let's just do this.
He's very he's very motherfucking he's kind of sentimental for being Spock and a Vulcan, right? He's like,
Yeah.
I've almost forgotten how beautiful the planet in my old house where I grew up was.
And then he proceeds to watch his younger self get bullied. And it's exactly the same, trope of kind of like the Harry Potter mudblood thing where it's like, hey, you're not a true Vulcan, your mom's a human. She's a fucking loser.
Well,
they keep like beating him up.
Like this exact scene was basically used in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek when they show how Spock and Kirk's path, how they both got to Starfleet, basically.
Right, and it's 3 kids too. And yeah, it's a nice insight because people never get this personal, I guess, with Spock in the live action show. So everyone's like, what the fuck? I think that's why everybody really likes this.
I dig it.
Everybody loves Spock,
Yeah, and Yesteryear, I didn't say it. It's one of the episodes that shows up on all like the top 5 episodes of the animated series list. And so Spock meets Sarek, who is voiced by motherfucking Mark Lenard.
Oh.
Guy who played Sarek in the show,
Perfect.
Of course. Yeah, it's great. And so they say, hey, you look like my son. It must be our forefathers' resemblance. And he basically says, Dad, don't tell anybody that Spock was being bullied by those kids. And he's like, family's family, mum's the word. And they end up, he goes, Spock says he's Sarek.
Yeah.
Right. And now, did he remember the name of the cousin from when he was a kid, or did he just make that up?
Yeah, but that's one up.
And so, basically, he hears Sarek dressing Spock down for fighting in the street, and he says, "The time will come when you will follow Vulcan or human philosophy. Vulcan offers much, no war, no crime." And then what does he say? "Order, logic, and control in place of raw emotions and instinct."
And this is like, a big theme in the episode because it's a lot of precipice and like changing moment and fork in the road. And it's like, look, you got to pick one or the other. You got to choose to be human or choose to be a Vulcan. And this whole, I guess, cultural event, I feel like it's akin to, I don't know if you've seen the movie 300 or read the comic.
Yeah.
Where he's just, Leonidas is a kid in the woods and like, you just got to make it back and you got to prove yourself, to who you are. And you man or a kid. I don't know. It's just kind of like a rite of passage kind of deal. And he has to choose truly. And as much as the kids bully him, the dad kind of pushes him too, and his mom's like, I don't really care.
Yeah,
he can do whatever he wants.
Oh, Majel Barrett, who does the computer and Nurse Chapel and shit, she plays Spock's mom in this.
Oh, okay.
Instead of the lady who played Spock's mom.
Bruh.
So Spock and his mom talk, and Spock and Sarek talk, and they both kind of get the vibe that this is their time traveling son. Yeah. I think they really don't. They really seem like, you look exactly like him, and Spock's like, it's family resemblance.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a cousin.
I'm a distant cousin, and I'm passing through on my way to logic school where I'm teaching about truth and honesty.
My father told me that you're really cool.
Yeah, and he's because he can't lie, right? So he's got to say that. It's weird when he says his name is Sarek. Like, a Vulcan can't lie, bro. But he should have been like, my name is Sarek, and then she'd be like, that is my son's middle name. And here we meet Ichaya, which is Spock's Sealot. And it's a giant saber-toothed bear thing, basically. But it's like a bear. It walks on 4 legs.
It's like a walrus.
It's like a not water walrus, because it's more like a bear or a cat, but it's shaped like a huge walrus kind of. And so this Sealot is mentioned a lot, several times in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds when they're talking about Spock's childhood.
Okay.
And so the Sealot, spoiler alert, content warning: Google does the dog die on this episode. The Sealot does indeed die.
Yeah.
And it is very sad. But so Spock is going to sneak out because he wants to prove something to himself before he takes his big test, his Vulcan philosophical survival test, basically. And so he goes out by himself and he makes Ichaya stay home, but Ichaya follows him still anyway, right?
Yeah, and as soon as he leaves, Spock was like, "Oh man, I just realized I never really took the actual test.
No, he
I was
did.
out in the middle of nowhere.
He
No,
did
but,
take the
it
actual
wasn't-
test, but
it
that's
wasn't
not where the
ordeal.
memory.
Right. That's
Yeah.
not where the memory happened. Like it wasn't actually the actual test when the event happened. Is what I meant to say. Mm-hmm. But that he just ran off into the middle of the friggin' mountains to just prove to himself that he could
be Vulcan. He
yeah.
could survive. And the ordeal, the rite of passage that they're talking about is called the Coswan ordeal. So this is like a
Coswan.
week before his Coswan ordeal, and he wants to go kind of test himself. And
Yeah.
then Spock's like, "Oh, now I remember. Oh, it's like really now you remember because you created the memory by fucking being there." And then I followed him anyway, and he's like, "Go home." He tries to do the Harry and the Hendersons, where he's like, "You will just slow me down. You may pout when Mom wants you to do things, but that will not work on me." And you mentioned before we watched this, Billy Simpson, the guy who plays young Spock, just knocks it out of the park as like voice
The
acting
timing,
young
yeah.
Spock. Great deliveries, really. It has the right emphasis on all the right syllables.
Yeah, and it's the timing and the tone too that he has. That obviously it is childish, but it's also like I don't know. You can still hear the human, the humanness, the emotion in his voice.
And I think it's interesting that basically Spock is living a flashback right now.
Yeah.
Like he even says, he's saying like the test was about myself and testing whether or not I could survive. And he says, Sarek, Amanda Grace says, "Sarek, our son is gone. So is that cousin of yours."
He's like, that's kind of fucking weird.
He's like, "I don't think the cousin's gonna hurt Spock, but we should call the authorities and do a search anyway." And then when Spock catches up to young Spock,
There's a big ass monster.
There's a monster who is colored just like Cringer from He-Man.
Yeah.
Like the exact same color palette, right? Same markings. And then Aichaya shows up out of the blue to fight this fucking thing that has...
Yeah.
That's the sound effect they used for the voice on the monster that's fighting, and the monster fights and bites Aichaya, but gets scared away, gets knocked out. The Laaaaaame.
Spock jumps on his back.
Oh yeah, Spock jumps on the Laaaaame's back and gives him the neck pinch.
And he's like, "Wow, I suggest we get the hell out of here before the Laaaaaame wakes up."
Yeah, the Laaaaaame.
Laaaaaame.
And Spock jumped on the Laaaaame's back, gave him the Vulcan neck pinch, and young Spock is like, "My mother says you should always say thank you." And then Spock says, "Oh, your mother is very wise, is like my mom." And then the kid is like, "Will I ever be as good at that Vulcan nerve pinch as you are?" And he goes, "I think you probably will be because you're me."
Yeah, he's like, "I know it."
It's funny because
so awkward.
young Spock is like, "You followed me. Why? Seems fucked.
It's a little weird.
Seems
I don't know who you are.
Seems sus," as the old timey humans would have
Like,
said.
Don't worry about it. I saved your life.
And basically, Spock is just talking to him about like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be Vulcan? It's like, are you Vulcan or are you human?
He's dealing with their woes.
Yeah, he's like, "Mom and Dad confuse me. I know Sarek wants me to be a Vulcan, and I want to be a Vulcan, and my mom's like, hey, you can be a Vulcan if you want."
But it's like, I love my mom too.
But then I'm confused. Father wants me to do things his way, and Mother says I should. Well, that's not...
Right? That's not conflicting at all.
But then she goes, "She is a human woman." And Spock's like, "Human women have strong empathy, and those traits embarrass you because they show you your human side reflected in her. There is some human..." He's like, "Oh, by the way, I've got some human blood in my family line too."
Yeah, he's like, "Don't worry. I mean, we don't understand, like..." Or he goes, "You don't understand that Vulcans do not lack emotion. It's just that Vulcans are in control of emotions."
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, yes, that is the key. And because
keep a lid on it.
logic provides an alternative way of thinking that is straightforward, and you can get quicker answers that way and all that. And that's how he's basically plugging, "Hey, you should be Vulcan because it is pretty kick-ass."
Yeah.
They're all kind of plugging their own, pitch here.
I like how he says old Spock says, there's some human blood in my family line as well. It is not fatal.
Yeah, right. Don't freak out. You'll be all right. But I'm sure, he's thinking about how he thought as a kid back then,
Now we get to the stuff that I hate. Chaya's very sick.
And he just
The Lamont
like,
struck him, and he's making the saddest fucking sounds. I hate this shit. I get it. Animals die. You don't need to re-traumatize me for a dumb fucking thing. And so Spock is like, oh shit, personal log. My pet is sick now, and this didn't happen the first time, so we're in
canon moment.
Yeah, and he fucking hopefully, Chaya hadn't like saved anybody's life after this. That's now gonna die because he's not around.
He's like, did I try to help anybody out after this? And the young Spock's like, what are you saying?
And young,
don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, just shut up. I'm trying to remember how this happened when I was in your shoes. And so young Spock says, I'm going to go get a healer because they can't move. They can't move Chaya. He's too big. So he's like, and old Spock is like, I can go. And he's like, no, this is part of my test. I will run across the perilous desert to get a healer.
And he's like, all right.
And Spock stays with Chaya, and he uses his Vulcan mind powers to make him sleep so he's not in pain. It's all very sad. Bunch of fucking sad bullshit.
Like use your mind as my mind kind of thing.
Yeah, and then there's lots of like young Spock is like fighting like tendrils that come out of the ground like like violent plants and shit.
It like really hits home with the Johnny Test vibes for me with the music too. The bam, 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 bam. And it's like zipping and zooming through the mountains.
And this is interesting because this is another James Doohan character. So this is the healer, right?
James
and
Doohan
he's
is
like,
everyone.
And he's like, young Spock is like, my Sealot Chaya was wounded by a Limacha. You must come and help me. And then this motherfucker is like, you are the son of Sarek, are you not? And he says, I've heard you have the human tendency to make a practical joke. And it's like, and then Spock says, one time, 2 years ago, I did that. And have you ever heard of Sarek's son being known as a liar?
Yeah,
and he's
right.
like, I guess you're right. I should come help you. I just think it's so funny that basically, so this kid knocks on your door and he says, my pet is dying, and you're a healer, right? And you say, I heard 2 years ago you rang somebody's doorbell and ran away before they got there. How do I know this isn't another one of your practical jokes? And so Spock wins him over.
Like, dude, it's 2 a.m. Like, why would I be fucking
knocking
on your door?
Yeah.
What?
I don't have a bag of flaming poop. And then the healer shows up, and young Spock explains to his cousin Sarek, wink, wink, that Chaya was his dad's before he was his, and he's just so guilty about this. And of course, the healer says it's been too long, he's gonna die, and I can either prolong his life and he'll be in pain, or I can end his suffering. And this is where young Spock becomes a Vulcan man.
Dude,
and he says
real quick.
He says, kill my pet so that he will not be in pain. And there's a very sad shot of him giving him a little smooch.
They all gotta say bye, And she's like, he goes, I don't want him to suffer any longer. Like, this is the test.
He did the right thing.
Tests.
He did the right thing. And then he's like, I'm so sorry if I caused you any distress, but it was for a good reason. And Sarek's like, I hope you have a good reason for killing my beloved family pet.
Yeah, right.
And he goes, I was testing myself to make a decision, and I've made a decision. I will be a Vulcan. And his dad is like, you comport yourself with honor, and we're going to go scoop up Chaya's body for you. And then he goes, and then young Spock is like, I have to go talk to some of my school friends and give them a demonstration. And Sarek is like, of what? And he goes, the Vulcan neck pinch. And Sarek's like, all right. Yeah, Sarek is like, all right, go assault your classmates.
Yeah, right.
And then Sarek lays down the old, he's like, I think you might be my time traveling son.
He's like, look, my doors are open anytime, and just. Do you have any, do you want anything from us? Anything else? And Spock's like, just don't be a dick to your kid. And he's like, that's a little weird, but I guess I'll figure it out.
But I'll honor it.
Yeah. It's like when Marty McFly talks to his parents in Back to the Future.
Yes.
And he's like, hey, if your kid lights the, living room carpet on fire, take it easy on him. They're like, all right, that's pretty specific. But and so then he hops back out of the portal, and Kirk's like, wait, so what happened? And he's like, I fixed things, but
I lived,
pet died.
But a pet died. And
Kirk's like, what?
Kirk goes, that couldn't have changed too much. And Spock goes, oh, for some people it might be kind of important.
He's
you
like,
fucking
whatever, let's
dick.
go back. He's like, hey, two to beam up. After he confesses the death of his pet.
And then Bones is like, well, you two are back from vacation. While you've been running all over Orion's creation, I've been running annual crew physicals, and you're the last one. And Spock, I recalibrated my machine for your Vulcan physiognomy, and I gotta recalibrate this thing every time I gotta fucking work on you. So let's get to work on this. And Spock's like, Dr. McCoy, you do not know your good fortune. If the times were different, you would have to recalibrate for an Andorian.
He's like, what? Bones is like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? He's like, it was a joke. And he's like, I have to remind you, Vulcans don't tell jokes.
And Spock goes, times change, Doctor. Times change. Cut
he's
to.
Like, my fucking pet died, dude.
Yeah, fuck you, man. I just watched my pet die for the second time because I remember it, and also I just lived it, Jack.
Oh, God.
Directed by Hal Sutherland, baby.
And it's just a wide shot of the ship flying
And then the ship
too.
flies away, and it was so good. And James Doohan, man, stepping up to Doohan. I bet they just paid him for one voice. I bet the other actors, like
Right.
Leonard Nimoy, was like, I'm not doing any other voices. You're just paying me for Spock. And they're like, well, James, do you want to do these 10 voices?
How's your afternoon look, James?
Hey, do you want to do these 10 voices? We're not going to pay you for, oh, yeah, I'll do it. Like, he doesn't even, he just volunteers. Because he played the Guardian of Forever. So he played the portal sound, or the portal voice. He played Alik Om, the healer.
Oh, yeah.
He played Bates, that ensign. He played Lieutenant Erickson, Commander Thielen. Oh, and then the Vulcan healer. So Alik Om was somebody else. But yeah, so James Doohan stepping up, knocking out another fucking round of voice. It's like my favorite voice actor on Lower Decks is Paul F. Tompkins, and he, the last few episodes, has done a bunch of different voices, and it really feels like this. Like it's like a bunch of people doing one or two voices, and then PFT doing a bunch. So what?
Seven voices,
right? And those are just the ones that he's credited for. There's probably background. So what did you think of Yesteryear, one of the highest rated episodes of the animated series?
It was obviously definitely highest rated because, it's very intimate, I guess. You see like Spock getting bullied, and like you see how Spock is just kind of this like scrub and just, what is it called? Guild? What is it? Green and behind the gills? Just hasn't been fucking
he's
traumatized.
A greenhorn. He hasn't. He gets bullied for being a Vulcan, half human, and that's always been a theme. And I think they captured it really well.
And the whole like precipice of him having to make a choice and the fork in the road thing, it did stretch a little bit, but it was just entertaining in terms of the young Spock interacting with the older Spock. And it was funny how the older Spock's like, I'm a distant cousin. Don't worry about it.
I'm Sarek.
Can I sleep in your home? They're like, yeah, I guess. Sure. You look like our kid. He's like, yeah, it's this weird cousin thing. And the part with the healer was funny, but I think it was a very, grand episode of terms of like
fucking
introducing
heavy.
new things. It was heavy in terms of the news at the beginning, but new things in terms of like, again, Spock dealing with his family and stuff. But the fact that, what was I going to say? The pet dies and that he just has to, put him to sleep, and it's a very like serious task.
No, it's a kids'
like
show.
Not easy.
So this is a kids' show where you show kids that like if you die, your parents might get divorced, and then also your pets die. When your pet dies, they don't get divorced.
Yeah, so you'll live.
But you live though. But your pet's gonna die, and that's sad.
Dude, the other dark part too is the Andorian being like, "I hope you succeed, so
And
I
then
can get the fuck out of here."
Erase me from Starfleet existence. I love that
He's
Andorian.
like, you know what? This Starfleet shit blows anyways.
My big thing that I would say about the episode is I like that we get an alternate timeline without Spock. Mm-hmm. So we get to see that. That Andorian guy is fucking great.
Yeah.
And just the fact that it really felt like a classic kind of time travel episode, and we get the time arch. We get the Guardian of Forever from that episode that we constantly reference, where the lady gets killed in the street. And I like the idea that the Federation is just. So here's the thing. They're ostensibly studying Federation history, right? But every time they go back in time, there's a chance that something they do could affect the timeline. And Kirk even says that when he comes out at the beginning. He's like, we studied just enough to not fuck anything up, right? And then Spock comes out and he's like, I'm dead now. But what I just don't understand... so how did that happen? Was it because Spock wasn't back in time at that time? Like, I don't know how Spock ended up dying. The time recursive loop or whatever, it doesn't make sense.
Butterfly effect where Kirk bumped into somebody and then they were late for their coffee thing.
Because they were
late for their coffee date, this happened. And then the bus driver couldn't get to his stop on time, which all ended up with Sarek being like, "Where's my kid, dude? Oh my God."
Yeah, and I think they were studying Federation history around the time of this stuff with Spock.
For sure.
And also,
right before.
I've got to think that the reason Spock thinks it's at his Coswan ordeal, but it's not, is because the time stream is malleable and changing in his brain. Because he would not forget. He wouldn't be like, oh, actually, this happened a week before my Coswan ordeal. It's like, no, dude, you would remember someone saving you at your actual Coswan. And you're Spock. You got a good brain.
Duh. Like, you'd probably remember everything.
He's got a pornographic memory.
That's the one hinge thing, I guess, about this episode. But again, it's a kid's show. We see a bunch of cool shit. It's kind of like how they introduced the rec room. It's just like something casual that the writers just thought of, but ends up being like a massive fucking branch in the whole series. Like time travel and dealing with your family and shit. There's a lot of family themes throughout Star Trek, and this is just like them finally done with like visiting a planet, talking to aliens, figuring out what happened on said planet, and then leaving. Like, they're done doing that, I feel. This is more like, okay, like, what about them, you know?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. And then,
good job.
Gene picking out the good stories, like the slaver weapon. That's a really good story that he found.
Right? Yeah, so good stuff. Mm-hmm. The animated series continues to impress. Now, next week, so we're off because we watched these 5 because I looked up what's the best. I looked up a couple of what's the top 5 episodes list. So now we're off that top 5 episodes list or lists, and I just wanted to pick one that looked like it might be a classic. And so this week we covered Yesteryear. Thanks for listening. Next week, come on back for Mud's Passion. We still have to do our recommendations.
That's right.
So that's Yesteryear. Next week we're going to talk about Mud's Passion. And Al, what kind of music, movies, media, what have you got to recommend, buddy?
Honestly, I guess if it's a good laugh, at how ridiculous the scenario is. I was showing my girlfriend last night. She was like, absolutely hate and loathe Tim Allen. And I was like, let's watch the Santa Claus because it's very unhinged. And it's like, there's some fat phobia in it. There's like a lot of divorced dad core in it.
Wait, what is this?
The Santa Claus. So basically what happens is Tim Allen is a divorced dad.
I know what the Santa Claus is.
It's rough, bro. It aged, but it's really
I'm not going to lie to you. I was looking at my phone for a second because I have an Amazon package coming, and then so you're using your recommendation time to recommend the Santa Claus?
Yeah, no, I'm saying we should watch it.
He kills Santa Claus. I will not watch it, but I respect you.
Awful.
Okay, but you just also said it's very funny.
It is. It's funny and it's awful at the same time.
So bad it's good.
Yes, that's where it's at.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I guess it's like the Room status because Tim Allen is indeed a pretty terrible person.
Yeah,
and you should probably pirate it.
But he's good in Galaxy Quest,
right?
Like he can do good stuff.
But that's who he is though. Like he's like, oh, he's so funny and acting like a douchebag that you're like, oh, that's like because
So do you
that's
wa-
like how it correlates to real life.
Have you seen all the sequels?
No, I don't want
Did
to
you
get
watch
near
the show?
those.
Did you know there's
I
a
mean,
show?
Home Improvement, but I
No,
didn't
did you know there's a Santa Claus show
God.
on Disney Plus?
They probably just showed him a pile of money.
There's a
and he
bunch
was
of
like,
Santa
whatever,
Clauses.
dude, I'll do
So
whatever.
the-
Maybe 3, 4, maybe
So
3,
the
4
Santa
series
Claus,
sounds bad.
the
But
Santa
one,
Claus is if you kill Santa, you become him.
Yeah, you just take his clothes and that's it.
Yeah, he kills Santa by mistake.
Yes.
And then he becomes Santa. And he gets very fat over the year. And then he has to do Christmas.
But then the psychological trauma on the kid and all that, and that whole like sideline, if you take it like seriously, like from the point of the the boyfriend trying to get into that wife's life, and the ex-wife, and the ex-wife being like, you're literally traumatizing our kid, like you're a psychopath. It is just so funny.
Right?
It's so creepy. But it's funny to be anti-Tim Allen by like pirating it and all that.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, going to the high
Definitely.
seas.
Yeah, or if you have Disney Plus, just
True,
watch it on
true.
that. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
But anywho, yeah, I guess Christmas
Watch
movies.
Christmas movies.
Elf. I mean, that's always a good one too.
My sister-in-law always watches that. We usually watch it. We often watch it with them on Thanksgiving Day, like to celebrate changing into Christmas season. But
If a
it's a
palate
good one,
cleanse
yeah.
would be Elf. But then I wanted to run through the Rankin Bass ones too. But my girl was like, "You could do that on your own."
like Frosty and shit like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, those
Maybe watch them
are
at double
cool.
speed.
Yeah, crank it up. I'm gonna recommend. So I don't know if I've ever recommended Smile 2, but Smile 2 is really fucking good. It's a totally different kind of movie than the first one.
Yeah.
They do a great job wrapping up the story from the first one at the beginning. It's very good.
We talked about that, right?
We did, and also I want to recommend. Maybe I've recommended this before, but I can't stress enough that Dan to Dan, this anime that's on Hulu. It's in it's like 11 episodes so far. This is the first season. It's so fucking good. It's about this boy and this like 16-year-old boy and girl who meet, and he believes in aliens and she believes in ghosts.
Yeah.
And then they find out that both of those things are real and that like ghosts and aliens kind of like interact in a certain way. And then they basically become like ghost and alien exterminators. But then there's also like the love story between the two of them. And cause he's like a Kotaku kind of dork guy. And she's like a semi-popular hot lady. But they fall in love with each other, and it's really fucking good. It's very sweet and funny and cool, and there's like it's very dirty. There's lots of like he loses his balls, like the aliens take his balls and they have to get him back and shit like that.
Yeah.
And but so watch Dan to Dan, watch Smile 2, watch the Santa Claus, but do it illegally if you can.
Elf.
And come on, Elf,
Alone.
yes. I hope you find your dad. Bye, buddy.
Oh no, another one too. Okay, what do you
Hope
think?
you
This
find your dad.
The Last Holiday.
I haven't seen it.
Really?
Nah.
It's funny. I like Queen Latifah, but
Oh,
that's
it's that
the
Queen
thing.
Latifah one.
It's
Yeah, I
just,
haven't
that's
seen
like
it.
where it's like it's so bad because
Is that
like they're
Queen
just
Latifah
clearly
and
acting
Steve
as
Martin?
himself. I don't know if Steve Martin's in that one, but it's like, where it's they just act as themselves, and it's just so ridiculous, and you can tell that it's like, I'm just trying to cash that check, and I have a vacation at this really cool spot. The main character has a vacation at this really dope spot, and that's where like the other half of the film is, because you just know they're taking time off and just kicking it there.
LL Cool J,
yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito, Gerard Depardieu, and his big
that's
weird
right.
flat nose. What a great cast.
that would
Matt
be my
Ross.
recommendation. Santa Claus and the Last Holiday.
Whoa, Chloe Bailey's in it? Is she like super young? When is this from?
Yeah,
Tw-
this is
2006.
2000,
Chloe
yeah.
Bailey was like 4 fucking years old or some shit.
Yep.
All right, so watch holiday movies. Have a good holidays.
Yes.
There will be there'll be more episodes. I think we'll have. Well, this is the last
couple,
episode before
yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
So and then we'll have an episode after Christmas for New Year's, which is going to be Mud's Passion.
Yes, we have another Mud episode. We
Yeah,
love
so
him.
next week we're doing Mud's Passion. So have a good Christmas and happy
Yes.
holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Holidays. And just come on back next week, do all the stuff in the bumper. Thanks for listening.
Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Bye. Trek in the Valley is executive produced by Adam Ordall Quinnell and Al Hirt. Theme song by Al Hirt. Recorded by Adam Mixed and edited by Al. Check the show notes for our socials, and you can email the pod at trekinthevalley, all one word, @gmail.com. Like, subscribe, review, and always explore strange new fucking worlds.